Welcome back, Necro lovers, to Season 9. There are two absolute amazing builds emerging. One being the Hand of Nas Archmage and Necromancer and a Golem variant of that. The other one is a big surprise. We haven't played this for 5 seasons. Before I show you these builds, they're meant for Torment 1, and afterwards, for 1 to 60, we have another build that I'll present you at the very end. Everyone and their mom used to play Bloodwave, big banger orange numbers, going for those critical strike, overpower, butt cheek claps. But they ruined overpower. It's nerfed to the ground. It will still perform okay, but we're not expecting Bloodwave to do trillions anymore. That being said, there used to be a second Bloodwave build that didn't focus on the blood proportion, it focused on the darkness proportion. So instead of doing trillions of overpower, we're now gonna do trillions of damage over time. This build is also known as the Poop Wave Necromancer because it really looks like there's poop on the ground. And this build hasn't been relevant for over a year. The big difference between the Poop Mancer and the Overpower Necro is that instead of focusing on the title aspect on your weapon to get like the maximum damage out, the biggest possible damage numbers, we are now moving the aspect of Ultimate Shadows to our weapon that has our Bloodwave create Desecrated Ground as it travels, dealing 64,000 damage over time. You're still going to play the title aspect to get this triple butt cheeks clap together with the Casimi's Legacy, because the Casimi's Legacy, chance for Bloodwave to deal double damage, does actually work also with the shadow damage over time, so that we stack that up like crazy. Now what we have to scale is that Desecrated Ground and damage over time, which means we're trying to get damage over time on our weapon, on our gloves, on our rings, and at the same time we're going to temper Desecrated Ground to get that up as high as possible. And then you're doing the standard ultimate cooldown reduction, ultimate cooldown reduction, ultimate cooldown reduction. We're going to play the fast blood aspect to gather those blood orbs to reduce the cooldown that we can then spam the blood wave and never actually be attacked because everyone is being thrown around left and right. The very good news, we're finally getting a key passive that actually works with this build. Formerly, we kind of used Shadow Blight in between. Then we have been using Rathma's Vigor for the overpower damage. And Affliction was never worth it because it was only vulnerable, crowd-controlled, corrupted enemies, corrupted as shadow damage over time, take 15% increased damage from you. 15. That was kind of useless. That one gets updated to 45%. Still too low. It should get buffed to at least 70%. But with this in Tau, we're now doing trillions of Bloodwave damage. The good thing with damage over time is we don't have to care about critical strike chance or critical strike damage anymore, because you're only doing white numbers. That means we're sacrificing for a lot of shadow damage, 34%, a lot of vulnerable damage, 34%, and then on top, instead of going here for the critical strike damage, we can get either more attack speed or even more life, and that would be actually 34% more life, whatever you need to stay alive or deal more damage. I'm truly excited to see the Poop Necro return. We get the whole planner here for you, but this will also be live leveled here on stream. There's also a level build in here and the Hand of Nas Necromancer. The good thing, the amazing thing, the new gloves that will have you sacrifice your skeletal warriors, your golem, and then for each sacrifice, you get more mages. And these mages, they throw out shadow bolts that do damage in an area. This leads to you sitting on your army of dudes who just go away. The only problem is you are the tank now, but that's not a problem because you can easily take care of your barrier needs with the new powers. You can choose to use Disintegrate. Whenever you use the respective skill, Corpse Explosion, you shoot out this beam. This beam will then give you a barrier equal to 50% of your life, deactivate the damage resistance auras, and also make you unstoppable, so you can't actually be stunned or anything, which is quite amazing for Necro to be permanently unstoppable. Top this with Necrotic Fortitude, tons of Archmages hitting on the distance, lucky hitting, giving us barrier. You will actually be some of the most tanky Necro. The coolest thing is probably the aspect of service and sacrifice. This aspect seemed somewhat useless. Skeleton warriors explode on death. But we don't use skeleton warriors. It also does say skeleton mages take 90% less damage and do 200% more damage on your two-handed weapon. That aspect alone is making Hand of Nas Necro already insane. And don't forget about the Ring of Mendeln. We get the Hand of Nas with the mages throwing out shatter bolts that do damage to more than one target, and the Ring of Mendeln have them do also bonus explosions. Yay, we love it. The final thing you will have to decide on if you want to play Soul Rift or if you want to go for Army of the Dead. Soul Rift used to be an absolute no-brainer. It gave us 75% bonus damage, barrier, vulnerable, bonus essence, everything. This got nerfed. The bonus damage is vastly less. We still get essence. We don't get barrier anymore. With Army of the Dead, you can use the Unyielding Commander aspect on your amulet for 162% bonus damage, but only while Army of the Dead is active, and that's 7 seconds. Which means we have to get the cooldown of Army of the Dead so low, together with your mages spamming and activating Decrepify, that we have this up every 7 seconds. Otherwise, the aspect of reanimation that gives you 90% more damage if your minions are alive for 10 seconds, just permanently more damage. But hey, if you manage to get the down, then definitely Army of the Dead is an option. But for this, we'll need good gear with like a greater affix cooldown reduction on your helmet, or maybe even a Harlequin crest. But the Harlequin crest wouldn't be as good as the Air of Perdition, as the Air of Perdition actually gives your skeletons more damage. Now, we talked about a third build, though, that could be introducing the Golem as the star of our show. What they're doing is they're changing the golems. Legendary note of the Paragon board. Your golem has 40% increased life and 100% increased damage. That's what it currently says. And in Season 9, it gets this extra. Skeleton mages and warrior sacrifice bonuses grant an additional 35% golem damage. So on top of the 100% damage he already gets, and that led to billions of damage of super explosions, we can add another 70% bonus damage, as far as I understand this read. This could then lead to your aspect of Fell Gluttony on your two-handed weapon or amulet to really go for incredible damage numbers. Your Blood Golem will essentially explode once, then with Fell Gluttony explode twice, and you could even consider slapping in back Bone Storm, because Bone Storm surrounds you and your Golem, and then we would be permanently buried up. There is some interesting theory craft going in that place. The whole planner for this will also be added in the Mobilytics link up here with the Shadow Dot Wave T1 to 300. But that Golem build is more experimental than the other two. The other two are working. The Golem build is something for you are tier 1, you are tier 2, you picked up the pieces already, we have a Golem mastery chest, we have a very high rolled Fell Gluttony aspect, and then we can consider putting this out as a speed farm setup with the max rolled Golem active cooldown reduction rings to then have this like 4 seconds, like dot. Only then considering it. For level 1 to 60, we're going to use the Golem, Skeleton, Army of the Dead, Sever, Necromancer. Because summons are simply broken from 1 to 60. You could technically jump a raid right into the hard difficulty. You also don't need a single aspect. Does it help to have a Cult Dominion? Surely. If you get an early Ring of Men down from a reputation reward, awesome. Or the aspect of the Frenzied Dead. Yes, all of these will make you stronger, but even without flying from 1 to 60 will happen in no time. Why are we using Sever? Because Sever is the highest damage ability that you can have early on, and it's scaled with the amount of minions you have. And if you're lucky and pick up Reaping Lotus aspect and put that on your two-handed weapon, you're going to be slaying. The leveling path on how to spend your points is included, but a full level breakdown on how to efficiently go from 1 to 60 Torment 1 ETC will come after day 1 of Season 9. Because I need to test everything with the new powers first to really see how the leveling actually is now more efficient. Do we do Nightmare Dungeons, Seasonal Questline, Hell Tides? What is it going to be? That video is coming 4 or 5 hours after the season goes live. Ladies and gentlemen, what is it going to be for you Necromancer-wise? And again, all these builds will be live played on stream, live leveled on stream, flashed out with actual equipment, not perfect theory crafted in a build planner to show you what is really possible with the new pit tiers. If you're also interested in what Druid and the Sorc have to offer, there's a video for you. And now tell me in the comments, what is it you're going to play? Enjoy.